Hey everyone, Glimpse here, and today we're going to be testing out Yoimiya versus Raiden. This isn't going to be like too crazy in-depth damage-wise because I'll be doing more individual videos based on them separately later. But today this is just seeing them at what they're good at basically. And this is going to be this is not a C2 Raiden guide. I am pulling for her when she comes out in like a day or two. How long is that till? 17 hours is when this banner's gone and everything. So whenever C2 Raiden comes out tomorrow, if you guys want to see me pull for that, subscribe, and we have her guaranteed, so we know we're going to get her, but you guys can see, hopefully we get lucky. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right over to demonstrating kind of what these characters are good for. Now first, don't be swayed by any guides or anything if there's one character you really have your heart set on. Yoimiya, Raiden, either of them you're going to have a great time with. They've both been pretty fun characters to play, but there's just like some caveats on both of them. And once again, this is not like a DPS Raiden. I got 2 Raidens in 110 pull, so that's why I have C1, and that's why I'm saving for C2. And then Yoimiya over here is at C0. But yeah, just one thing to note, Raiden C2 is going to be, like, when you can actually play her as a pretty solid DPS. I'll show her slightly, like, some DPS stuff a little bit later in the video before C2, just so you kind of know what to expect. C1 just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit quicker to get like the burst up time and what is it, characters or not the burst up time, to get the stacks for her burst to do more damage quicker. So I'll show you guys more of that later. That's just like a really quick rundown of it, but it's kind of complex and we'll try to make it simple. And then Yoimiya is a super simple character. Now let me show you guys. Let's just go fight the Oceanid real quick. That's something she's good for. And then same thing with like Thundering Manifestation. Actually, you know what? Let's go fight that. I've never fought that with Yoimiya, and I heard that's one thing she's really good for. So we're gonna go test this together right now. But so yeah, if you need a good DPS, Yoimiya is fine. She's really good for single target. If you don't have like a Hu Tao or someone that's kind of more tailored towards single target content, she's gonna be pretty good. And then she's nothing, like, she's probably not going to change your account a lot unless you don't have a really good DPS. If you like her, pull for her and everything, or if you see this in like her playstyle, or you want to try out some team comps with her, then yeah, by all means go ahead and pull her. Just don't pull her thinking that she's going to be like the most insane DPS or anything. Let me show you where my Yoimiya is currently at. So right here, mine's at 80 out of 90. Signature weapon, I'm on Shiminawa's C0 and 881. Because her ult, you don't really need it, I'm going to be real with you. Here's the ratio, 61 to 211. The crit rate could be a little bit higher, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, I didn't invest like a crazy amount, but this is like somewhat decent investment. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this. I haven't played her too much, but I do think she's kind of fun whenever I do play her. So let's go ahead. Okay, so then you literally just tap her E and you kind of spam. You can see some... So you can see there's some pretty decent numbers there. Like, she's definitely more single target oriented, which I'm sure that you can see here. So just know that, I mean, this isn't like, oh, that's fine. This isn't like super here. You can just see some plain damage of just like her with a shield. That's it. You can hear very spammy. I mean, that wasn't super slow, super quick or anything. It was like, it was solid. There's some pretty good numbers there. And then let me show you guys something that I like to fight with Raiden. I prefer to fight this with Sino, but I mean, this is a pretty easy boss overall. Raiden's not... Her damage numbers aren't crazy high or anything. Let me show you guys my Raiden stats really quickly. Yeah, and like after I pull her C2 tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different videos talking about these two characters separately. Like, I want to test her more out with Farina and some other teams, talk about like teams you can do with Ayato and her, because that's kind of like a more niche play style, but just like some double DPS teams that I do want to kind of cover. And then here we have Raiden. Now let me show you guys something really quickly. Like, I have a bunch of teams with Raiden on them, just not being like, let's see how many we have right now. She can slot into this team pretty well. She can also slot into this team as like a support, so if you want to pull both, that's fine. She's good in like a hyper carry team. She's also good here. She's good in some Raiden National, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. I won't go too into that now because I know that it'd probably bore you guys, but this is the team I probably play her the most on with Al Haytham. But I pretty much just slot her into any team that has an open slot where it kind of has energy problems, and I don't need to have like 100% field time with the main DPS. So, here. Let's... Oh, I didn't mean to switch to Kazuo, but let's just get some Kujo-Sora energy really quickly and then we'll come back. Because I was testing her by herself with Kaching in the other video, so that's why she doesn't have any energy. So, yeah. You guys can see some off-field Raiden damage here, nothing crazy. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna teleport away and then right back just so we can kind of get a baseline. But I mean, you see people hit pretty solid numbers with Raiden. Another thing to mention is you can play just like full EM for Dendro teams. That's also works pretty well. But like, I'm not really a fan of that. I don't think that's as fun to play. I am aware that you can reach some pretty good numbers that way. Like pretty fast clear times. It doesn't feel like you're actually playing properly, I guess. Like, I'd get Nilo just to try her out with that type of team, but I don't know, I'm not super crazy about it anymore. So, let's see. Here we're gonna swirl. And then we'll go here. Swirl. Use her ult, let's see if it crits. No crit. Okay, let's... Yeah, then you guys can kind of see, like, her attacking numbers after. I mean, it's solid, I guess. Yeah, we're trying not to kill right now and get our energy back. But you can kind of just see like the playstyle. Normally the energy's kind of fine, just when you're doing full rotations, but I don't know. We're not really killing anything here. There's a child main trying to join me. Okay, let's heal up really quickly just for... I mean, we'll be fine, but... Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. We're gonna crit. That's one... That's one problem about Raiden, is that if you don't... It's kind of like Eula for... At least at like C0, C1 Raiden, because the damage is pretty comparable. With... what is it? I'm sorry, C0 and C1, it's kind of damage numbers pretty much the same. You don't really see... It just makes her a little bit easier to play, in my opinion. So I'll do like constellations versus weapon, or like other constellations worth it, whatever you guys want to hear about later. After I get her, I'll do a bunch of testing. So here, let's go ahead and give this a shot. So pretty much you want to at least swirl Electro. So we'll swirl everything here. We'll try to do this correctly this time. I think it's like this. So there's like a 133. You see there's a crit, and then he ran over here. What do you... Okay, what do you do? Well, okay, nope, that... Okay, that wasn't the best Shogun, but you guys got to see like the first big number, and you guys got to see some pretty good numbers the first time around last time. But like, as you can see, she's not really a DPS. Can you play her this way at like C0, C1? You definitely can. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not impossible. It's just, do I recommend it? No. My Sara really has some energy issues. Let me show you guys my Sara. I like have nothing really leveled on her. Okay, I just wanted to complete this set. I'd probably go through and get an ER Sands on her and it'd be fine. But like, here's really what I'm using Sara for right now. It's the C6 electro damage of characters who have their attack increased by her crit damage increased by 60%. So overall pretty solid. Yeah, don't worry about her too much. But yeah, that's what I have on her. So my Raiden, well, of course my Sara is not like the best invested because I don't play Raiden that often. But here's my Raiden with weapon, 4-piece emblem, C1, and then 688. We're at 66, 130. Kind of like the main goal you want to go through is 60 to 120 at least, and then between 200 and 250 ER. Pretty much everything after that is kind of just whatever you can get, you know? But that's like the main baseline you want to shoot for to get somewhat decent numbers. Like there was 130k here on a character who's not really even supposed to be a DPS yet. Let me show you why C2 is so good. It just decreases all the opponent's defense by 60%, which is kind of insane. Like, defense definitely keeps the enemies alive better. So if you're just ignoring it, it's like, that's why the numbers get up so much higher. That's like a real simplistic way to explain it. And then C3 literally just burst levels as well. Like, it's fine, it's pretty cool, but just you don't need to worry too much about that. Like C2, C3, after these constellations, your character's pretty much done. Like, don't her up to C6 and stuff. Most of Raiden's other constellations suck. I'm gonna just get her to C2 and then kind of leave her there because I mean, I like Raiden, but I don't, like I'm saying, maybe if I really start to like playing her after this, I will. But I just have so many different carries. I don't think I want to invest into her specifically at C3. I'd rather go for a character that's it's like designed as an actual DPS that I play more often, like constellations like Ryo, Child, that type of thing. So that's pretty much the main thing here. Then let me show you another thing that Raiden is good for. I kind of talked about this in my Kaching video, but this is just off-field application for characters that kind of need to swirl and you don't really want to waste all their swirling potential before they're even on the field, you know? Because like some characters, they have a hard time swirling. I don't think I have a Kaching team still out. That's fine. Here, you know what? Let me just do this real quick to show you. Okay, so on this isn't only good on Kaching, but this is like on any electric character that you kind of don't really want to swirl like separately with. What you can do, because like Kaching, you can go like this, and you can just like apply the electro and then swirl it on the enemy. But a problem with that is that then like you go back to when the thing's gone, and I mean, of course, like you have pretty easy uptime just to throw it back out before you get the that electro infusion. But personally, I just don't really like to mess around with the cooldowns like that. So I think an easier way to do it is literally you just apply Raiden's E and then you go like this, and it'll automatically swirl electro on the opponents. Because like when you're like this, whenever you attack them, they get electro on them, right? So it even applies even if there's not electro on them, if you just run up to them with the with Raiden's E active, when you jump up with Kazuha or like Sucro swirl like that, it's gonna swirl the electro on them. So that's also super. It's a super good thing to do. Also, if you want to do physical teams, Raiden's pretty good for that. She has really good electro off-field application. It follows you around. It's not like a stationary, like kind of like Lisa's ult, it just stays in place. So there's a lot of versatility there. And then same thing with Yoimiya, is that she has some versatile teams, but she's not that versatile character. Like I said, she's fine. A lot of people bash on her. I think she's slightly underrated. I really do like the character, but I mean, personally, you guys don't need either of these characters. I know a lot of people like to hype up C0 Raiden. I think C0 Raiden's slightly overrated. Don't get me wrong, like, she's good. Raiden mains don't come, like, bust my door down. But I have this character. She's a really good character. She works in any teams you pull her for. But, like, make sure you actually have teams to play her in. Because I feel like a lot of people kind of get sucked into the idea that just, like, you need this character. You need Raiden Shogun because she's an Archon and because she's the best. And, like, at release, people said that, and I didn't really think it was that true. And even now, after all this time, with all these new characters and new options, new team builds, with her being even less necessary, I feel like it's even less true, like in these current patches. So make sure that you actually have proper teams to run her in before you do that, like the Alhaitham teams, or if you want to run Hyper Bloom teams, or if you just really like her and want her to be a hyper carry. Like, whatever the needs are, just make sure you have a use for her before you go spending primos on her. I mean, unless you're just collecting, like, you do you, man. I'm not the I'm not gonna be here telling you how to use your primos. That's on you. I'm just here to kind of guide you guys in the right direction. But like, I pulled Raiden and I thought that she was super cool. I thought she was gonna change my account. I kind of tested her at C0, and I was like, she's fine. She like works in certain scenarios that you want to play her in, but I was expecting more from her. So just also be prepared that, like, don't get her and think that she's gonna be the best character in the game, where you're gonna start just automatically get her and hit like 300, 400k on the burst right away. Like, it takes a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of different components. Like, you're not gonna hit those highest numbers without C6 Kujo Sara, without her C2, C3, without her signature weapon, you know? So just make sure that everything on your account is suitable for Raiden if you do want to pull for it. Because I do think that Raiden is the better of the two options if you have other DPS characters. Like I'm saying, if you just want a DPS and you like Yoimiya and you kind of like that spammy type playstyle, you're going to love Yoimiya. She's pretty good. I do recommend Yoimiya's weapon if you're playing her. I mean, you don't need any 5-star weapon, but it does make a noticeable difference in my opinion. Like, that's what's this one called? It's Mistsplitter's the sword. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Thundering Pulse, yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called. Thundering Pulse. Thundering Pulse is a pretty good weapon. This is what's had me hit my highest damage with my child. It's a pretty versatile weapon. You can kind of use it on everything. But Yeah, let me show you guys. For those of you that didn't know, you know, you can actually search your achievements, like if you want to see the highest damage number you've ever hit. This wasn't in the Abyss or anything. This was an overworld, and this was with Thundering Pulse equipped. 517,391. That was no food buffs. That's just a regular team in the overworld with my child. So Thundering Pulse was definitely pretty helpful. I might be able to hit higher with what's it called? Yolan's weapon, whatever that one's called. I don't draw on a blank right now. I know what it's called, I swear. I swear I've played this game. But yeah, so that actually helped hit pretty high. And that was just like a regular enemy. I'm not cheesing any systems on a boss's down mechanic or anything. But yeah, so Yoimiya, you're gonna like her if you like that spammy type playstyle. It's kind of similar to like Wanderer or Ryothazli, or slightly similar to Child. Child has a bit more nuance in my opinion. But that's pretty much what it is. And I'm also going to, like I said, I'm going to test her out more. I know she's really good with double Hydro teams, kind of like Hu Tao. I don't have Yulan, so I was never able to test that. But I'm going to test her with Farina and Xingqiu in later videos. I just don't want to... I don't want to get like super in-depth in all this, and you guys have like a million things to try and mentally digest, and you kind of get overwhelmed and everything. But I'm just showing you like the base level of like an average of what they perform at. Not their best, not their worst, but... like, it's kind of like, okay, that's like an average of what they do. But yeah, Raiden's really good at off-field application. Her burst recharges your ults, which is super helpful for a lot of teams that need energy requirements. She's good in the Sino team slot if you don't have all the proper pieces for the best team. Yeah, so I definitely recommend both these characters if you like them, but if you're kind of on the fence about them, I think you might be better off like saving for some more characters, like maybe Xian Yen, the Cloud Retainer character that's coming next. She might open some new playstyles for you that you guys will enjoy. So I think wait a little bit later in the patch to kind of see how you like. But if you know that you have your heart set on one of these characters, 100% go for it. You're going to be fine with either of them. They're both going to be like pretty solid characters. I don't know, if you're just like a waifu collector too, there you can get them, build them up. You'll have a great time. I think that's pretty much all the tips I have for it. And last thing, oh yeah, make sure you have all the things set for Yoimiya's team. Because like, there's a bunch of things you can try out with her. Let me switch this to Sara so I don't forget. Okay. So make sure you have all the like the things set for this. Okay, so my Bennett C6 right here. This, you don't need this. Like, you don't have to activate it. Do whatever you want. I personally think that anyone should activate it unless you're like a Eula or Kaching main. But I don't know. There might be someone else that messes up Ayaka maybe. But yeah, this just gives extra power damage bonus and everything. So like the Bennett, you don't need C6. It does help a bit. And then all just a Bennett in general is really helpful. Zhongli, Toma, that like any good like really solid shielding characters. Because if she gets knocked around, you really don't want her combinations or her attack sequences interrupted because like here, let me show you guys. So most of her like highest damaging hit percentages are going to be towards the end of the rotation right here. So you kind of just want to go ahead and wait till the end of the rotation to get the biggest numbers. It's pretty solid. Yeah, and Yunjin right here, I have Yunjin C6. C6 gives normal attack speed increase. Then everything else is just like normal attack damage increase and everything. So like I'm saying, you don't need C6 on these supports, but at least make sure you have like these type of supports or Farina, Yalan, Xingqiu to kind of slot in here. But you at least want like some type of pretty good buffer and a pretty solid shielder generally for her. Or like at least some type of resistance to interruption, like Deha would also probably be pretty solid there. But yeah, especially because the Pyro Resonance, we have Pyro and Geo Resonance. Pyro increases attack and Geo increases damage while shielding. So those are both pretty solid. Like I personally like this team, not relying on like Vaporize or anything. It's kind of just all Yoimiya's personal damage. One problem is staying in Bennett's circle, because she kind of moves out of it, so you kind of just have to time when you're going to dash and everything, or how long you can stay in it, or just proper placements for everything. You can work around it. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, like you guys saw Yoimiya's damage. It was pretty solid. It wasn't like, you're not sitting there like, whoa, anything like that. But I mean, yeah, like it was solid. You'd be happy with it. So yeah, just those are all the main pieces you need for Yoimiya, or at least to some type of weapon. Another weapon that's really good for if you don't like going for 5-star weapons, you can also I mean like this one too. Anything with crit's gonna work fine, but the one that I really recommend is this weapon, Russ. Normal attack damage, is increased, and charge attack because you're not doing high charge attacks at all. So this weapon's really good for, or what's the other one I like? This one. Look up a guide on how to get to this, because it's like a whole thing. How to get the blueprints for it. But this one's really good for as well. Normal attack damage, charge attack damage increased. But yeah, this one works really well with Shimino and everything. Oh wait, what is this? When the equipping character's energy reaches 100%, this effect is increased by 100. I mean, Shimino kind of works against this one. You kind of, if you run this, you more so want to run it with, what's it called? Crimson Witch of Flames, because that's, like, that one works almost as well. But personally, I'm a Shimino guy, and then I would run her with this. So it's kind of whatever you want, whatever you're feeling, you know? Normal attack damage. Yeah, but that's also R1. At R5, this one's probably going to have a higher ceiling. But yeah, this one's really solid too. So whatever you're feeling there. I think you really can skip these two characters if you are indifferent or you don't care. You don't need either of these characters. But like I'm saying, if you have to pick one, or in case you need to pull for some reason, I don't recommend the weapon banner first unless you have both these characters, because here, let me show you guys the news real quick. Cover the 4 stars really quickly, just if that helps sway you a bit. Okay. Oh yeah, weapon banner real quick. Like, Rust is good for Yoimiya too, so you know, if you have both of these characters too, this is great because both these weapons are really solid. This one's gonna be a good backup for Yoimiya. This one right here is a solid option for Raiden if you get like to R5, but I mean, I don't really recommend building it. These two weapons kind of mid, and then this one is good for like Jean and a couple other characters. So overall, I mean, it's somewhat decent, but don't pull for it unless, you know, you can like afford losing some Primos, because you probably won't get lucky. I just want to say that. Then this, Chevrolet, new character. I want to go for her. She looks pretty solid. These two characters, if you get them C6, super solid. Bennett's good after like C1, but I mean, Bennett's good whenever, but C1's really when he really starts popping off. I'm sure you already knew that. Kujosara, she's fine. Like, she's pretty solid. She's really good in Raiden teams, but C6 is when she gets really like, damn, this really buffs the team. Then Chevrolet is supposedly really good for Pyro and Electro teams. So like, Bennett definitely helps both these characters. Chevrolet is going to help both these characters. And then Kujosara is more tailored towards Raiden, but like, she's pretty good at what she does. So if you do get her, I recommend at least somewhat building her up. For Raiden teams once you get some cons on her. But yeah, all these 4 stars are pretty solid. So I mean, these are pretty good banners to pull on if you really want to pull for something. But the 5-star characters, I do think you can wait. Yeah, pretty much been reiterating things a lot recently. But like, comment, subscribe if you guys did enjoy the video. And let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll try to help you guys out with whatever you can. Or like if you have specific questions for your account in particular. Yeah, just drop them below, or just any video pretty much. And I'm down to kind of try to help you figure out what if they'd be a good addition to your account. Yeah, that's the end of the video. So I hope that you guys all enjoyed, and let me know what your plans are for who you're pulling for. Yeah, me, C2, Raiden's finally coming home. It's been a while, so I'm doing a video covering that. Yeah, here's kind of the roadmap. I mean, if you're here, you're somewhat interested in these videos, so quick roadmap. Next video, pulling Raiden, testing Raiden, testing Raiden C2, and probably talking about like, is it worth it? And I might do like a constellations versus weapon type video on Raiden, and then don't get Yoimiya cons. I'll probably also do a video covering Yoimiya. I think like, should you pull Yoimiya, or like, is Yoimiya right for your account? I don't know, just testing her out with more teams and everything, going more in depth to like a specific character, giving a better guide on everything. And then from there, I don't know, I might do another Starro video pulling like Dr. Ratio's light cone whenever it comes out. See if we get lucky on that. Yeah. So hope that all works out for you guys. Yeah. Okay. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.